This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 15th day of November in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton today chided the British High Commissioner Jane Miller over statements she made about the voters list, describing her statements as out of place and against the wishes of the Guyanese people. Last week, the UK diplomat was quoted in the media as saying that the current voters list can be used for future elections once there are enough safeguards. But at a press conference today, the opposition leader said such a position will not be accepted in the UK itself, which has strict voting mechanisms in place.
The British High Commissioner must not be allowed to go against the wishes of the Guyanese people. While we pursue good relations with all countries, we are committed to ensuring our decisions are made by the people of Guyana, and therefore we abhor the attempt by any diplomat to impose their will on the people of Guyana.
Mr. Norton said it has long been concluded that the current voters list is bloated and does not represent the true voting population of the country, and therefore outside intervention to state to the contrary will not be welcomed.
What is more worrying is that the British High Commission was informed about the reality surrounding the list when the APNU met with the ABCE countries. It is interesting that the ABC countries choose to be briefed together, but the British High Commissioner chose to go it all alone in making her ill-informed comments.
The opposition leader said the British High Commissioner must be reminded that all the observer missions at the last general and regional elections recommended that the Guyana Elections Commission undertakes a process to create a new voters list. Norton said his party has also called for the use of biometrics at the place of poll, and if the safeguards that the British High Commissioner was referring to include biometrics, then that is a starting point, although generally he said her comments were ill-informed.
I have no doubt that the British High Commission has a right to make a pronouncement. What I, however, must also be acknowledged is that we also have a right to make pronouncement on any pronouncement that is made. And our pronouncement on this is one: the entire observer group at the 2020 election called for a clean voters list, and therefore the pronouncement seems antithetical to what the British, the Carter Center, CARICOM all were saying.
In the final analysis, the opposition leader said the decision will have to be made by the Guyanese people. He said his party will continue the campaign for a new voters list. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
season to get what you've always wanted with a little help from Republic Bank. Same day approvals apply online. It's time to make it happen for yourself and your family. Get cash back for the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, garlic postering, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
GBTI Quick Cash Christmas is back, just the way you like it. Get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. We ain't waiting on Santa. We buy and we own this Christmas. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com from October 15th to December 31st. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes. Terms and conditions apply.
A very Merry Guyanese Christmas.
The Guyana Police Force has dispatched 251 police ranks across Georgetown and other areas as part of its Christmas policing plan. The officers will be doing patrol work across the city on a 24-hour basis with the primary intention of keeping citizens, their properties, and visitors safe during the festive holiday season. In his address during the launch of the policing plan today, Assistant Police Commissioner Simon McBean, who heads the Georgetown Police Division, said Guyanese can expect an increase in foot, bicycle, motorcycle, vehicular, and drone patrols throughout the division as the force heightens security in the country. Commander McBean said Georgetown will be divided into 15 sections covering commercial, industrial, tourist, and residential areas.
Georgetown will be divided into 15 sectors consisting of foot, bicycle, vehicular, marine, canine, and mounted patrols. Each sector will be commanded by an officer and inspector along with adequate ranks. Heightened intelligence-led special operations and heightened focus on noise nuisance. Also, special emphasis will be paid on all commercial and residential areas.
On a 24-hour basis, the police ranks with the use of bicycles, motorcycles, and motor vehicles will be manning the division with major focus on the commercial hubs and tourist sites. There will also be heightened security at the country's ports of entry, including the Cheddi-Jagan Airport and the Eugene F. Correa Airport. Commander McBean said in total there will be 82 patrols within a 24-hour period, complemented by another 82 traffic patrols in the division. He urged residents and shoppers alike to be alert as they go about their daily activities during the season.
Be alert and aware of your surrounding at all times, and this is pointing to shoppers. Carry only what is needed, conceal your valuables, and consider alternative options of payment, which is a wise thing to do during this period.
Meanwhile, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham in his presentation indicated that similar steps are being implemented across other regions. Mr. Blanham noted that there will be an increase in the deployment of uniformed and plainclothes ranks throughout the festive season. He said there will also be an increase in mobile and foot patrols and fully operational police booths at strategic locations across the country. Focus, he noted, will be placed on hotspots and commercial areas. Meanwhile, the traffic chief, Dennis Stevens, said in anticipation of an increase in traffic, police traffic officers will be spread out throughout the country. It was noted that many of them will be placed at key locations within commercial districts in Georgetown, New Amsterdam, Rose Hall, Vreden Hooper, Rickabartica, and Anna Regina. He said in Georgetown, some streets will be blocked off from vehicular traffic.
We're looking at, for Rob Street, no entry for vehicle traffic going east between Alexander and Border Street. That is only for pedestrian only. No vehicle are allowed to proceed there. We also look at Border Street, no entry for vehicle traffic between Region and North Road.
The traffic department is also working with the Marara Harbor Bridge Corporation to allow for two-lane traffic across the bridge at particular times. Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Hickens said the police force will be working closely with the Ministry of Public Works, the Marara Harbor Bridge Corporation, MARAD, and the City Constabulary to ensure the success of the security plan. The security arrangements will remain in place until the 15th of January next year. Turning now to the security sector, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham reported today that serious crimes in Guyana are down by 19%, with 108 murders recorded so far for this year, which he said represents the lowest level in 10 years. Speaking during the launch of the Christmas policing plan for the Guyana Police Force, the acting Deputy Commissioner of Police explained that there were 331 less serious crimes recorded between the 1st of January and the 13th of November this year, when compared to the same period last year. The number of murders, incidents of rape and robberies declined in 2022, the crime chief reported, while noting that there was no reported case of kidnapping for this year or last year. Zooming in on murders recorded over a 10-year period, 2013 to 2022, the crime chief said 2022 has recorded the lowest so far.
The data confirms that there was a fluctuation in the trends, with peak in the year 2020 with 157 murders being recorded in that year. However, there was a steady decline in the number of murders, with 108 murders being recorded in the current year. So far, I wish to draw your attention to the fact that this is the lowest number of murders recorded for this 10-year period.
It was noted that during a 5-year period, disorderly and domestic murders accounted for more than half of the murders that took place in the country.
It can be clearly observed that over the 5-year period, disorderly murders have been the most prevalent category of murders recorded in Guyana. There were 368 disorderly murders during this 5-year period. These murders emanated from disorderly conduct and interpersonal violence.
To bring down the number of disorderly murders, the Guyana Police Force will be launching a social media campaign to raise awareness on disorderly conduct and how it can escalate into murder. Conflict resolution seminars are also on the cards. Murders aside, he reported too that 2022 also recorded the lowest number of robberies in a 10-year period. According to the crime chief, 24% of the serious crimes occurred in Region 4A, followed by Region 4B with 18% and Region 3 with 15%. However, the trend, he said, comes as no surprise due to the large number of persons living and operating in Region 4A, which includes Georgetown, and it being a commercial hub. It was noted that for 2021 and 2022, there was no reported case of piracy. The Guyana Police Force took more than 68 illegal firearms out of circulation, and the force observed that the main origin for those illegal weapons was the US, followed by Brazil.
Regarding Brazil, a significant amount of illegal firearms seized are the Taurus pistols and revolvers. The Taurus weapons are produced and sourced from Brazil. Our investigations have so far revealed that Letem is the main transit point for these weapons, which go largely towards principal destination in Region 4A and other distribution networks across the country.
With regards to drug trafficking, it was reported that 293 kilograms of cocaine was seized, the third highest in a period of 5 years. Meanwhile, 761 kilograms of marijuana was seized so far for this year, the highest in 5 years. Well, months after the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly agreed to merge the Auditor General reports for 2019 and 2020, PPP Member of Parliament Sanjeev Tatadin has filed a motion for the reports to be scrutinized separately, but already it has not secured the support of the chairman of the PAC, Opposition Member of Parliament Jermaine Figuera. In the motion, the Government Member of Parliament Sanjeev Tatadin called for the reports of 2019 and 2020 to be examined and scrutinized separately and sequentially by the Public Accounts Committee. His motion was submitted to the chairman of the PAC, Jermaine Figuera, the clerk of the National Assembly, Sherlock Isaacs, and the clerk of the Public Accounts Committee. It was seconded by the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel, who is also a member of that Public Accounts Committee. Laying the foundation for the motion, MP Data then submitted that government's expenditure for 2019 and 2020 was without parliamentary oversight and budgetary debates until September of 2020. It was explained that public expenditure during the specified period occurred after the no-confidence motion and in the absence of the sitting of the National Assembly. But the PAC chairman told News Source on Tuesday that the motion in its present construct will not be accepted. Mr. Figuera argued that merging of reports took place under the chairmanship of former Member of Parliament Carl Greenidge and even under the chairmanship of President Irfan Ali when he chaired the PAC. He said in cases where reports are merged, PAC members are given the opportunity to scrutinize those reports without hindrances. Mr. Figuera said he is convinced that the motion is intended to further stall the work of the PAC and the examination of the public accounts under the current government. The issue is expected to come up when the PAC meets again in the new week.
Darkness. What happens in the dark comes to life on Saturday, 26th of November. Early bird tickets $2,000 and VIP $10,000. Movie Town parking lot.
Calling all prospective homeowners. The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Housing and Water, will be rolling out its steel and cement housing subsidy program from Tuesday, October 25, 2022. Applicants must be a citizen of Guyana residing in the country, must be in possession of a title or transport for their house lot, must have an approved building plan and loan approval from a financial institution. Persons with a builder's estimate below $6 million can qualify for 1 sling of cement, 80 lengths of half-inch steel rods, and 63/8-inch rods. Those with builder's estimate ranging from $6 million to $25 million can qualify for 2 slings of cement. Application forms can be uplifted from the Ministry's Brickdam Main Office, Georgetown, and all regional housing offices from Tuesday, October 25, 2022. For more information and online applications, visit our website at chpa.gov.gy.
Census takers are visiting communities across Guyana and collecting information from every household. This information will help the government to plan better for our country's development. All the information shared will be treated as strictly confidential, and everyone is asked to participate. No one should be alarmed about any question asked. because the answers provided will help to improve living standards, decrease community crime rates, and improve access to housing and healthcare, among other benefits.
The census gives us the tool to identify some of these important gaps that exist across communities, within communities, and across regions, so that we can have targeted intervention.
Yeah, we counting way from region 1 to region 10, the whole country. Yeah, we counting way.
Well, despite his party's concerns about the voters' list, leader of the opposition and People's National Congress leader Aubrey Norton today hinted that his party will contest the upcoming local government elections, even as its coalition partner, the Alliance for Change, has announced that it will not contest the elections with the current voters' list. At his weekly press conference today, the opposition leader Aubrey Norton said that his party has a duty to protect its constituency and will not allow the governing PPP to take control of its strongholds.
The PPP hopes that nobody will go and they will get all the seats and dominate and control this entire society. We have made it clear that we will protect our strongholds. How we do it, we will disclose once we would have completed all our analysis. We will disclose how we will do it, but what we are sure of, we are not going to allow the People's Progressive Party to take over Georgetown, New Amsterdam, Linden, etc.
The opposition leader said his party will do what is in the best interest of the Guyanese people, but in particular he noted the APNU will not let down the people of Guyana who continue to look to the opposition for leadership.
We will engage and then we will determine what is in the best interest of our people. For instance, we have strongholds in Linden. We have strongholds in New Amsterdam, in Bartica, in Madia, and in the last election we beat the PPP in Rose Hall.
But even as the APNU hints at contesting the upcoming polls, its concerns for the voters' list remain. The opposition has dispatched a letter to the Ghana Elections Commission requesting a meeting with the full commission to raise its concerns before pronouncing on elections-related matters. The Elections Commission today announced that the forms for the submission of the list of candidates to contest the elections are now available online. Health watch right now, diabetes continues to be a major health concern in Guyana, and the Ministry of Health is hoping that its messaging will encourage citizens to adopt healthier lifestyle choices. Diabetes occurs when there is not enough insulin being produced by the body or is not being used well by the body. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, has revealed that 1 in 10 Guyanese is affected by the disease. There are more than 60,000 diabetic patients in the country. Dr. Anthony said the number could be higher, since many Guyanese do not undergo regular screening for diabetes. He noted that diabetes is one of the leading causes of premature death and illnesses in Guyana. According to the health minister, while diabetes and its complications are largely preventable, prevention and management strategies are crucial to reduce morbidity and mortality and improve patient outcomes. He believes that early detection is essential for managing diabetes. The Ministry of Health has indicated that it is collaborating with several international partners to ensure that every person living in Guyana is provided with the best diabetes care. The partnership will see improved testing, better treatment and care, and the introduction of more tools to healthcare professionals who care for diabetic patients. Guyana joined the rest of the international community on Monday in observing World Diabetes Day. Minister Anthony said action is needed now as the country has committed to achieving several of the targets of the World Health Organization by 2030. Chairman of the Coordinating Council of the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, IPALAGY, Vincent Alexander, has filed a lawsuit against Vice President Barra Jagdeo and the Department of Public Information for $150 million over claims that he used the organization's funds to enrich himself. Mr. Alexander filed a statement of claim in the High Court today. He is claiming damages in excess of $50 million from the vice president over defamatory statements made during an interview, which was published by DPI on the 19th of August. He is also seeking another $50 million for similar statements made by Mr. Jaglio, which were published on the World Wide Web on the 20th of August by DPI, and continues to be in circulation under the headline, Ipadagy Coffee 250 Committee officials using the cause of Afro-Guyanese to enrich themselves. Damages in excess of $50,000 against DPI are also being claimed. The chairman of Ipadagy's coordinating council has also asked the court to issue a permanent injunction restraining the defendants from further publishing or causing to be published the allegations contained in the interview and the news piece done by DPI, and for the contents to be removed. Mr. Alexander is also seeking a retraction and apology from both the vice president and DPI for what he called the false, malicious, and defamatory statements made, which impugned his character. In laying the grounds to the claim, Alexander, through his attorney, explained that throughout the interview done by the vice president and published by DPI, exclusive reference was made to him. He was keen in pointing out that DPI never put the allegations to Alexander himself. Alexander has repeatedly denied the accusations leveled against him by the vice president. The Ministry of Education has signed two multi-million-dollar contracts for the extension of the East Randville Secondary School and the St. Winifred Secondary School as it confronts the issue of overcrowding. The contracts, one valued at $175 million for the construction of a single-flat building at East Randville Secondary, and the other for the construction of an $85 million two-story building at St. Winifred Secondary, were signed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Alfred King, in the presence of the Education Minister, Priya Manek-Chand. The East Randville Secondary School was among schools forced to erect tents in an effort to accommodate grade 7 students back in October, as they turned out a school for the new academic year. Noting that the government in signing the contracts with Delft Construction and General Supplies has made good on its promise to address the issue of overcrowding, the Education Minister Priya Manek-Chand said the issue in part was as a result of a number of policies implemented by the government. She has applauded the Parent-Teacher Association for the schools for choosing a temporary solution that was in the best interest of the students. The Education Minister also said parents and teachers need to work together in the interest of their students and the schools.
We counting we from region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
We've just completed our census interview. It's quite a simple process. Whenever the team comes to your home, kindly cooperate and get the interview done, because it's also important for the information to be available to us as a government to plan and implement our programs and projects for the development of Guyana, a development that you will benefit from.
We counting we from region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has declared a state of emergency in parts of the capital of Kingston and in some central and western parishes in an attempt to control rising crime linked to gang violence across Jamaica. States of emergency give authorities increased powers, including the ability to search buildings and carry out arrests without warrants. Today's measures apply to areas that include the popular tourist destinations, such as Montego Bay. The Prime Minister said that the country has seen an increase in criminal activities in those areas and the threat to property and, in some instances, public disorder. He said they are seeing gang activities in the areas and it is a cause for concern. The Prime Minister predicted an increase in murders over the next several weeks with the onset of the holiday season, when violent crime in Jamaica typically spikes. The Commissioner of Police in Jamaica said that 1,306 murders have taken place in Jamaica between the 1st of January and the 13th of November. That's an increase of 6.8% over the same period in 2021. Gang violence was the reason for 71% of the murders in Jamaica. The Trinidad and Tobago government has conveyed its concerns to the U.S. regarding Washington's travel advisory in the oil-rich Twin Island Republic. A statement issued following talks between the Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Emery Brown, the National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines, and the Chargé d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy Shantae Moore noted that the matter had been discussed. The statement said both Brown and Hines conveyed the concerns of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, arising from the U.S. Department of State's travel advisory for Trinidad and Tobago of the 8th of November, in which U.S. citizens were advised to reconsider travel to the Twin Island Republic due to crime, terrorism, and kidnapping. The brief statement said that after an exchange of views, all parties agreed to continue the ongoing collaboration between Trinidad and Tobago and the U.S. in an effort to address issues highlighted by the travel advisory. And the Chargé d'Affaires undertook to convey the views expressed at a meeting to the U.S. State Department. In its latest travel advisory, Washington urged Americans to reconsider their travel to Trinidad and Tobago due to crime. And the Trinidadian government is not happy about that advisory. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that crowds of residents in southern China in the city of Guangzhou escaped the compulsory lockdown and clashed with police as anger at strict COVID-19 curbs boiled over. Dramatic footage showed some overturning a police vehicle and tearing down COVID control barriers. Riot teams have now been deployed in the area. It follows Guangzhou's worst COVID outbreak since the pandemic began. Amid bad economic figures, China's zero-COVID policy is under enormous strain. Tensions have been building in the city, which is under stay-at-home orders. The area is home to many poorer laborers. They have complained of not being paid if they are unable to turn up for work, and the food shortages and skyrocketing prices while living on the COVID control measures. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.